If you are into marketing, should you even worry about things like vibe coding or even coding in general? The short answer is yes. Because simple reason for this is that you will know how to talk to the technical teams, what goes behind the whole AI ecosystem, and also what happens when a website works, doesn't work, things that you need to do in general. That's the more tangible, simple reason. The more intangible but also very important reason is that you would know different things that are needed to build the whole digital ecosystem. Think about it like this. You don't have to wait for anyone to give you at least the proof of concept, the basic working demo for different things that you want to do. You want to do a test campaign, a test landing page. You want to create a simple lead form for your lead campaign. Or if you want to trigger automation, or if nothing, just to test a small idea for which you'll have to wait for the developers. There are two ways to do this. First one is the easier, very user-friendly, beginner-friendly way, which is using platforms like Lovable. The second one, which is a bit more technical, a little bit of learning curve will be there. But the thing is, once you learn it, there is no limit to what you can do because you will have the full flexibility and freedom without paying a lot of money. Second option is to use the VS Code along with ChatGPT as a co-pilot for you. In this video, we will go through both platforms, try to build the same site both ways. One with Lovable, the other option is to build it with VS Code. And in the end, hopefully you will know which one to use for your projects. But before we do that, what is vibe coding? Because we have been seeing all these website builders, they have been around for quite some time. Like for example, a Wix website builder or Shopify, or even with WordPress. You have different blocks that you can drag and drop and connect things. You have header, you have the paragraph sections, different slideshows that you can do, and all those things. But that is not vibe coding. Because in vibe coding, you have the freedom and the flexibility to develop your own code from scratch. It's not the drag and drop functionality that you get from Wix or Shopify or WordPress. Think of it as a middle ground. On one side, you have all the drag and drop interfaces, but you have limited functionality. You have to rely on what they will give you, and you have to use whatever features they have already provided. On the other side, you have your code from scratch. You have to build your own HTML codes, then link it with CSS, bring in a lot of libraries. You need a lot of technical expertise. And for this one, the vibe coding setup that we are going to explore, you are still working with code, but you have AI, which is giving you almost the drag and drop kind of functionality because you have to tell it what exactly you want, and then it will start working as a bridge between the code and your own conversations with AI. So you have to tell AI, what do you want to build? What kind of colors that you want? What kind of elements do you want? What kind of functionalities do you want? Do you want it to have a login? Do you want it to connect to a database? And it will do it for you. Out of the two options, Lovable and VS Code, we are going to explore both of them. They will both let you build, but they come with their own trade-offs. So we will start with Lovable first. Lovable is a no-code platform where you have a chat interface which is powered by different LLMs, and you talk to it about the needs that you have, the requirements that you have, and it will start building something side by side for you. So you can talk to the interface, ask for the changes, any revisions, any corrections. It will also debug things for you. So let's jump right in. Using Lovable is very simple. You just go to the website lovable.dev, create an account, and then you just get going because you just have to type whatever you want it to build and give it some references. For example, if you have to build a website from scratch, you need to think about what kind of look and feel that you want. You need to think about the functionalities and everything, but we will start from the look and feel. And for me personally, what I do is I usually go on Pinterest. On Pinterest, I search for things like website color schemes. I'm not a UI UX guy, so I need a lot of reference. So for example, if I am scrolling through it and if I like something, then maybe I'll just use that image as reference point. In this case, for example, this is the one that I picked, that this is how my website should look like. That OS is by Marina. OS is by Maria. I'm so sorry, Maria. So you download the image and use it as the reference. After that, you go back to Lovable, attach the image, the image that is downloaded. I'll just call it web template. So you just attach it. Yeah. So now you can ask Lovable to use this image as a reference for your color schemes or even for fonts. So once you are done with that, you need to give it a prompt around what exactly do you want it to do. in this example, what we want to do is a simple form, a customer support form, in which it has some input fields like, say, name, email, a message for the customer support team, and yeah, that's it. As simple as that. Because as we move on, we will be converting that into a chatbot, a RAG powered chatbot, but that's for our future videos. To save some time, I already filled some data around what exactly do I need, the prompt that is needed to build that website. So for example, build a simple customer support website which has following features: a clear landing page with customer support portal, short subtitle, we are here to help, a contact form with these fields: name, email, message, include a submit button. When the form is submitted, display a confirmation message on the same page that says thank you for contacting us. Our support team will get back to you soon. Remember, we are going to convert it into a chatbot later on, but for this demo we are just using a form submit website. And then use a simple modern design, blah blah blah, use a color palette from the attached image. We have already attached this image here, so it will use the color palette from that image. Keep the code minimal and easy to modify later. Use standard HTML, in-page CSS, JavaScript. I mean, it's just to keep things simple. If you learn a bit more about how these things work, you can give it even better instructions. But for this particular demo, we are not making it too complicated by bringing in React libraries or Python or anything like that. So yeah, and no unnecessary dependencies. So we have that. Now let's just see what happens once I press submit. Alright, so it's working on a lot of things. I'll skip through it. I'll just show you once done. Alright, something is happening here. Good. Okay, so it's using the color palette that we asked it for, the orange, the white, and the grays and everything. It's got a nice headline: customer support portal. We are here to help you 24/7. We asked for it, get in touch, and all those things. All right, so you have a simple customer support portal ready here with Lovable. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is that, especially for the free version, it uses credits, so you get 5 credits per day. So even with the single prompt that I had, it used 1.4 out of 5. So I only have 3.6 left, and the credit is not based on 1 credit equals to 1 instruction. It's based on the complexity of the whole instruction, the prompt, how complex it is. So if the prompt is really long and very complex, then it will utilize more than 1 credit. That's why you are seeing the usage in decimals. So keep that in mind, because if you're using free version, then you have to be wary of the credit limit that you have. If you are a paid user, then you get 100 per month or per day. What do we get? Alright, so if you are a paid user, a pro user, then $25 per month will give you 100 monthly credits. Okay, that's on top of your 5 free daily credits, so up to 150 per month. So this is what you get if you start paying for it. But if you are just testing things here, then keep in mind that you only get 5. So once you utilize all your credits, you have to wait till midnight. So that was very simple with Lovable, right? Very friendly interface. The only problem with it was that it had only 5 credit limit. So if you're a free user, you have to be careful about that. But we have an alternative, a little bit more technical, but if you spend maybe a week or so on learning this VS Code, which stands for Visual Studio Code, it's by Microsoft. It's free of charge. You can build anything that you want for any number of times. There is no credit limit. That's the benefit of using VS Code. So that's the trade-off that you have when you start learning VS Code against any of the vibe coding apps out there. So I already installed VS Code here. So on the left, this particular window is VS Code. I have just squeezed them so that they fit side by side, because I'm going to show you how exactly you do it with ChatGPT as well. On the left, you have Visual Studio Code, VS Code app. On the right, you have ChatGPT 5, and I'll show you how to use both of them in Copilot mode, where ChatGPT writes the code inside of VS Code directly. So all you have to do here is that, first of all, once you install Visual Studio Code, it will ask you to install a few other things, some libraries here and there. Just say yes and install everything. But once you do that, this is the window that you will see. Here you just either Control N or Command N to create a new file, or just go to file and click on new file, and let's call it index.html, because this is the home page for most of the websites. Index.html, it will ask you to save this file somewhere. I have created it, so I have a simple HTML file ready. Now ChatGPT 5 or any other model can start working with you in a co-pilot mode. You can also use Claude or any other model which supports co-piloting, but because I've been using ChatGPT for the basic task, I'll just use that. So you have the HTML page here waiting for us to write the code, the whole code. We can either do it by ourselves, start writing the whole code, or we just ask ChatGPT to do it for you. So you remember the prompt that I pasted earlier into Lovable? We are going to use the same prompt, but in ChatGPT this time around. Let me just move this around so that you can see what's happening here. So for the prompt for ChatGPT this time around is that, hey, I'm using VS Code. I need to tell it what platform that I'm working on to build a simple website. You have access to the index.html file, which we just created, to write the code directly into VS Code. Here are the instructions, the same instructions that we gave to Lovable. Now we are giving it to ChatGPT. So create clear landing page, add contact form is submitted, say this, say that, use color palette from the attached image. So let me just quickly attach the template that we downloaded earlier so that it has the reference as well. So yeah, it's getting attached now. So this is my whole prompt. I attached the image, and let me just put it back on the right side. And one last thing, down here you see this small button which looks like the app library from iOS. So you click on this, work with apps, and then add code, the VS Code here. So now it has access to index.html, as simple as that. So this is the one last step, and then you just press submit, and we just waited to write the whole code for us. So it's now looking at the code, it's going through our instructions, and soon it'll start writing the whole thing for us. If I just press on the details, I can see the code that it's writing right now before it implements its pastes into VS Code. So this is my whole HTML. It's using the colors, in-page CSS, and everything, and we are done. Okay, so this is the whole code that it pasted here. You can see it. It's as simple as now. That was that. This is still the code. You still need to see the preview. So you go to the small icons, which is show preview button. You click on it, and ta-da! You have your customer support portal ready here. So you can again type your name, your email, whatever you want. The thing is that it did not use the white background. You can just ask it again to just change everything to white in the background instead of black. So you see how simple that was? That's how you do web coding. Now the problem, or the pros and cons with VS Code, is that here you get unlimited credits. You can use this as much as you want. Also that you can install different libraries and all, make it as complicated or as simple as you want. But the thing is, you can see this is hosted on my local machine. The IP address here, HTTP 127 blah blah blah. So yeah, it's hosted on my local machine. So if I have to publish it on the website, I will have to follow certain other ways. Like I have to push it on GitHub, then publish it from there, host it on something like Vercel so that I can take it live, or point it to my domain. But when it comes to Lovable, for example, on Lovable you just need to press publish, and as soon as you press publish, you will see this link, support spot simple.lovable.app. You can send it to anyone, your client or anyone. So that's one of the key benefits, again, for simplicity and speed of the whole process, because you don't have to figure out how to use GitHub and all those things. But to be honest, using GitHub is not very complicated. So if you just go through some of the tutorials around how to use GitHub, a lot of times ChatGPT can help you exactly what to type, what commands to give to push everything to GitHub and take it live from there. So these are the two ways that you can do vibe coding by yourself. And once you start doing it, you can start building your own lead form pages, for example, or a small interface where you can chit chat, a customer support type of a chat interface where you can talk to your libraries. A very good example for marketeers would be that you upload all your campaign reports into a vector database that we will cover later on, and then link it to a small chat interface, and you can talk to your reports, talk to your campaign briefs, get all the insights from the chatbot. And you can also build your small mini website. So if you are moving toward, say, entrepreneurship or building your own small business, you can at least have an MVP or a proof of concept for the platform that you are trying to build. And it's not limited just to web, you can develop apps as well. There are other tutorials on the internet. I have not done that yet, but there are a lot of tutorials which will tell you how to build your own app using vibe coding as well. And again, for that, you can use those low code platforms or build your own using VS Code. So if I were you, if I were just starting, I would be starting with something like Lovable, because at least you will understand when you prompt something, you are asking it to do something around building a website, then what kind of codes it's writing. Once I am more familiar with, say, HTML, the CSS, basic JavaScript, how the structure is looking like, what are the things that are going inside my code, only then I will move on to VS Code. But before working with VS Code, I will also want to learn a bit more around what exactly is VS Code, what is CLI, what is GitHub, how do I push things on GitHub. So a little bit of studying will be needed for VS Code. But if you are familiar with Lovable, have done it for a few weeks or so, I think it'll be much more easier to move on to VS Code. If you start with VS Code, which is what I did, I mean, it will be much easier to move to Lovable because you have already done the most difficult part by using VS Code to build your own app. After that, moving to platforms like Lovable or Cursor will be breeze. So it's totally up to you how you want to learn these two platforms. Either you can take my suggestion or just play around and see whatever you are comfortable with. What I will do is that after this one, we'll move on to webhooks in my next video, because we want to also learn how do I connect a website with the automations that we are building. Because once I submit this contact support form, it needs to do something, either store the information or respond with something else. So what we will do is we will cover a little bit on webhooks. How do I make this website talk to my AI automations? Then we will upgrade our customer support agent. A video after that one will be all about how do I build my own database where my AI customer support agent is fetching all the data regarding my products, my services, my company, and now it's a chatbot. So this is how we will progress. Today we learned about vibe coding. Next is linking our vibe coded app to automations. After that, upgrading our automation to make it a chatbot, an AI chatbot. So if you like it, please subscribe, please like, and yeah, I'll see you in our next video. Cheers.